Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Stacee Johnson. She's a yoga instructor. She also specializes in yoga sound meditation. Welcome.
Thank you, Stephanie. Great to be here.
Well, I have to reveal that you and I went to yoga school together.
Yes.
And we graduated in 2012.
We did.
And since then, not only have you been teaching, you ventured into this whole sound meditation field. Tell me how that happened. What made you become interested in that?
You know, from an early age, I've always been into sound and music. I like the way that music can affect a person's mood. So music can take you high, it can take you low. It can kind of meet you where you are to shift what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So I played violin from very early on for a number of years, then ventured into keyboards, so always kind of having music around and in my background. When I started teaching yoga, getting into that industry and being around different types of venues and different types of events, this concept of a sound bath kept coming up. And so it intrigued me enough because, again, me liking sound and music, now bringing it together with yoga kind of seemed like something that I should kind of look into. So I attended a sound bath, and the first time that I attended a sound bath, I walked away not knowing really what happened. I felt like I was floating. I felt like I was in a different place, a different space, and knew that I didn't exactly know what happened, but I wanted to do it again. So attended a few more times, and just kind of in the direction that things went, decided that this is something that I wanted to incorporate in what I was doing with my yoga teaching.
So a sound bath is a workshop that's dealing with sound. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so you'll hear the term sound bath. Sometimes you'll hear sound therapy. I use sound meditation. And the whole concept is using different instruments to invoke a certain feeling. For me, with sound meditation, it's all about bringing about a deeper state of relaxation. We are always, as a society, just more at a heightened state most of the time. And it's quite honestly hard for people to find relaxation. If you have a moment of your day, it's like you have to find something to fill it with. We're always looking like we should be doing more. And to find relaxation, it's kind of hard for some people. I even see this in my yoga class.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is the most frequently asked question that I get as a yoga instructor. How can you help me relax?
Yeah.
And then sometimes at the end of a yoga class, we do what's called shavasana, the resting pose, and I watch people's feet moving, their hands tapping, their heads shaking. People have a very difficult time relaxing.
Yeah, they have a very difficult time relaxing. So I kind of take it as my job through sound meditation to help them find that place where the mind doesn't have to work, there's no thought that's involved, it's just being there, being receptive and open to the space, that you don't have to do anything. You know, it's okay to give yourself that moment of self-care where you can just tone down and let things kind of take its course.
At the end of the show, we're going to do a demonstration of how exactly this works.
Yes.
But can you explain it to us? You use bowls, or how do you create these sounds?
Yeah, sure. So I use a variety of different instruments. What I've brought today with me that we'll see in just a little bit are quartz crystal sound or singing bowls. There's also Tibetan, or also called Himalayan singing bowls, which are metal, usually of brass consistency. They also can be made of a blend of different metals. I use chimes, I use bells, I use even vocal toning, which is using my own voice to bring into the session. So how it typically works, whether it's a private sound session or whether it's a group sound session, kind of works the same. I'll ask someone to come into a more comfortable state. So you can do it sitting in a chair comfortably. More than often, though, I like for people to lay down, because then your body can completely be at rest. All of your muscles can just be supported by the floor, the mat, or whatever supports underneath of you, and just kind of let yourself be open to the sound. And not only finding comfort, comfort in terms of being warm enough too. So when we find a deeper state of relaxation, we don't use as much energy in our body. We don't need as much energy. So the body temperature starts to cool. So making sure that you're warm enough by placing layers of clothing on or blankets. Just finding a place of comfort. That's the kind of the first step. And just coming with an open mind of not needing to know what's going to happen, not needing to really truly understand it, but coming for the experience. So I use the crystal bowls, I use the Tibetan bowls, the chimes, my voice to kind of bring a sound experience to someone. So it's not just about the sound, but also about the vibration and feeling that vibration of sound through your body.
How does the vibration connect to your body? Is there a specific part of your body that the sound connects with? Are there several parts of your body that connects with the sound? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's a couple different trains of thought about this. So we have the chakra system. There's 7 major chakras, starting at the very base of our spine and working up to the crown of our head. And there is the theory that the different notes apply to the different chakra points. So starting at the base of the spine, working just a couple inches above that for the 2nd chakra, the 3rd chakra being the navel. Then there's the heart center, the throat, the 3rd eye point, which is right here between the brow, and then the crown chakra on the very top of the head. So kind of working from the base up to the crown of the head. We would start with a C note, then D, E, F for the heart, G for the throat, A for the 3rd eye, and a B note for the crown of the head. So playing these different notes resonates with different parts of the chakra system. Okay, so there's that element. There's also thinking about different parts of your body. Everything, whether it's a person, this chair that we're sitting in, everything has its own frequency. Frequency being the way in which it vibrates. So bringing in a sound that matches with that frequency creates more of a harmony. And then that's how the sound starts to creep into your body, creep into your mind as you come into a place of relaxation.
How do you think it works for healing?
So the same thing. So if we're looking at different frequencies touching different parts of the body, right? Working in to bring back a restoration through our busyness, through stressful things that are happening in our lives. And whether that's good stress or bad stress, our body doesn't know the difference. Right? Our body doesn't know the difference. If we're overly excited, it's still a stressful situation to the body, as opposed to something bad that might be happening that we're not quite sure how to deal with. It's still a stressful situation to the body. That can bring us out of balance. It can make us feel kind of not ourselves. So bringing a sound frequency in that will touch the body and kind of match that harmony, that natural harmony, can bring back a restoration and a rebalance to help us kind of stay centered.
Do you find in your workshops that different sounds resonate with different people as you go around the room, and how do you work with that?
Oh, definitely. That's kind of one of the fun parts for me, to kind of have that exploration of sound and energy. So just like if you think about general music, you know, if we turn on the radio, there's a sound that resonates with you. You might like a song, or there's a sound that you definitely don't, and you go and you switch the channel. The things that make us feel good, we kind of stick with. And when they make us feel good, we're more open to listening, to feeling, to seeing what that music or that song might have to bring to us. It's the same thing with a sound meditation session. There's certain sounds and certain tones that will automatically resonate and feel pleasing, and certain tones that may not. I have some students that enjoy the metal or Tibetan bowls more than they will the crystal bowls. I have people that absolutely love the chimes that I play. So it all kind of depends on personal preference, and also though your body's energy and what you feel. I will walk around a room when I'm doing a group session, and I usually use the Himalayan or the metal bowls for that because of the sound, the resonance that they give. And it's always interesting to kind of play with the energy that's in the room, and to see from one person to the next how that sound and tone changes, how the pitch of the sound changes as it comes in contact with a person's energy. So it's quite interesting to see that happen and to feel it happen for me. My work is then to be very sensitive to what I'm feeling in the room. For instance, someone that may not be more open to the experience of sound, or maybe it's their first time, so they're not quite sure what's happening, might be a bit more tense, a bit more rigid. Their energy field may not be as open to receive. And I can feel that, I can sense that. So instead of bringing a bowl that might be just inches away from the body, I might feel that their limit is more like a foot away. And I still strike it because they can still feel the benefit. They can still hear the sound, and hopefully little bits will kind of sneak in there.
Well, I have to share my experience of coming to one of your workshops. I came, and it was about 5 o'clock, I think it started, and you began your thing. We're all comfortable. We're all in our circle or whatever. And 5 minutes later, you're bringing us out of the meditation, and I'm like, I just got here. How's she wrapping it up? And I just got here. I looked at my watch, and 25 minutes had passed.
Yeah.
I was totally unaware that I had gone under. Now, I'm a regular meditator.
Okay.
I know what it feels like to be in a different state.
Right.
And that meditation, it just took me, it was remarkable. It was absolutely remarkable how my body resonated with the sounds. And I also expressed to you afterwards that it not only affected me then, but throughout the rest of the evening. I had to work that night, the midnight to 5 shift at the radio station, and I couldn't shake this feeling that I had. It was a good feeling, but I'm like, okay, get off of me, get off of me.
Right.
It was something that just stayed with me. It had a true measurable effect.
Fantastic.
In other words, it works.
Good. Good to know.
It really does.
Yeah.
And my question to you was, how?
How? The big question. Well, one, I think it's probably safe to say, because we do know one another, there was that trust factor. So having that trust factor, you were more open to the experience when you came into the room. And then you're already meditating, so you already know what that feeling is. You already know how to come to a place of stillness, to not have to do anything, to not have to seek anything, but to be open to what comes to you. And I think that you had a great beginning and a great grounding because of that. So there's different states that we go into. There's the beta state where we're conscious, more aware. Meditation is more the alpha state where you have that bit of stillness. And then there's the theta state where you're not asleep, but you're in a deeper state of relaxation. So when we do the sound meditation, I'm striving to get you more into those alpha and those theta states where you don't have to rely on anything but just simply be.
Well, what can you do how can you recreate, let's just say someone goes to a workshop, and you want to recreate that feeling. You want to, if you're having issues with sleeping at night, if you want to duplicate that feeling at home, is it possible?
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's possible. Certainly, if you'd like to incorporate sound, you can always go and purchase a sound element that would that calls to you most, whether that's a chime or a bell, crystal or metal. You can always purchase one of those for yourself and have that with you. These days there's plenty of apps that are out there that will allow you to play around with sound and sound frequencies and find the one that works for you. But yeah, there's all types of ways that you can bring it in at home, so you can find that same thing that really resonates with you, that really speaks to you and can take you to that place that you're seeking.
How often is it okay to do that? Is it something that you can practice on a daily basis, or is it something that you should only do now and then? Or
I would say as often as it feels good. So we were talking about how people find it hard to relax. As much relaxation as you can bring into your schedule as your schedule allows, and where you can still function normally afterwards and for things that you have to get done, I would say there's no problem with continuing to do it on a regular basis.
Before we go into our demonstration, tell me, what are some of the things you've heard from people who've experienced this? What are some of the comments that you've heard over the years about this?
I think the best thing that I get the most joy about is people just having a really deep sleep the day afterwards, or that night after they've experienced it, because they've gotten to themselves into a place where maybe they've never been there before. Maybe they've not been able to relax to that point before. And because it feels good to them, they're able to kind of take that into a really nice and deep sleep. I love hearing those comments.
I hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
In my practice, people who say they just can't sleep at night. They wake up several times a night, or they just can't get to sleep at all.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that goes into your day,
Absolutely.
where it changes your mood, it changes your energy, it changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it changes everything. So finding a way to focus on those things that can help to bring that balance, to bring that shift, so that we're not feeling stressed, we're not feeling jittery, we're not feeling like we don't know how to relax, or that we don't have the time to relax.
And you've got to make time.
You have to make time for self-care. Yeah, you have to make time for self-care, whether we are caring for ourselves, whether we're caring for others. If we don't take care of the things within us, we can't really function properly. So I love hearing when people are able to take that feeling and it takes into their evening, it goes into their week. It just makes me feel good.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up. We're going to take a minute to set up so that you can do a demonstration and show us how this thing works. I'll probably need to see it 7 or 8 times, and we'll just go over today. I'll have you back and you'll do some more stuff, but we're going to take a few minutes for you to explain exactly how this works. You'll play a little bit for us, and we'll do that in just a moment. You're watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stacee Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Stacee Johnson, and she's a yoga teacher. She's also going to show us about sound meditation. That's what we've been talking about today, is sound meditation. We'll be back right after this. Hello and welcome back to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stacee Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Stacee Johnson. She's a yoga teacher, and she's also talking to us today about sound meditation. She's a specialist, a sound meditation specialist. Okay, for the last 20 minutes, we've been talking about sound meditation and the instruments you use to produce certain sounds that are healing, that can help you sleep, that can do a variety of things. So we're going to do a little demonstration. Let's begin by telling us, what are these bowls?
Yeah, so I brought a few things with me today. These are quartz crystal bowls. All of these are the frosted variety. There's also clear bowls, and you can also have bowls that are infused with different types of gems. But all of these are quartz crystal bowls. So I have 4 different notes here that produce different sounds.
So tell us what each bowl produces.
Yeah, so I have right here to my immediate left is the F bowl. So we were talking earlier in the set about how some of these sounds can resonate with the major chakra points. So the F note will resonate with the heart chakra. This big boy here, this is about an 18-inch bowl. This bowl is the note of a B note. This is the lower chakras. I'm sorry, the higher chakra, the crown chakra. This is a D note here. The D note, one of the lower chakras. And then this smaller one here, the 9-inch bowl, is a G note. Resonates right here with the throat.
Well, can you give us an example?
Sure.
Of it?
I'll give you an example. One thing that I do want to point out is even though the sizes are different, the different note bowls can be the same size. So for instance, this big bowl being a B, I could also have a B that is the size of this smaller bowl here. So if you think about the notes on a piano, the scale on a piano, it's the same notes, just repeated over and over and over. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Right? The lower notes on a piano are going to be more to the left. The higher notes, same note, but there'll be a different pitch to the right. It's the same thing that can happen with the bowls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to step back and let you do your thing.
All right, we'll give a little example. I'll first just start by chiming the bowl by using a rubber mallet and just striking the bowl just so you can hear the tone of the bowl. And that being the F note. moving down to the D, and moving to the G, and then to the B. So what I did there was just use a rubber mallet, and this rubber mallet, it can be good for just striking the bowl as if it were a gong. I also have here a different type of mallet. This is more one that is heavier. So this one is actually made of crystal. The entire thing is solid crystal, and it's got a wrapping of leather around it. You can use this heavier one to kind of produce a more smooth sound. This is where the singing bowl gets its name, to sing. And then the beautiful thing is that the notes can start to harmonize with one another. So just like an actual chorus singing, the notes begin to blend together. You can hear, even though that I've stopped playing, the bowl continues to vibrate. And the more that the vibration, the more sound that is produced. If I start and strike the bowl and just start at a slow rhythm, it's a lower tone. If I speed up, the vibration of the sound gets faster. The sound gets louder. And this bowl is quite happy in this studio. Liking the energy a little bit, so I'll back off just a bit. And so in a typical sound meditation, I'd be combining the sounds of these bowls while a student or person was laying comfortably and just taking in the sound vibrations. Sound is produced by just striking against the bowl smoothly and applying just a little bit of light pressure. And as you want the vibration to stop, you can ease off. Or because it is vibration that we're talking about, placing a hand or just something to stop the vibration on the side of the bowl can help to quickly stop the sound.
Stacee, how is that incorporated into your workshop? Do you begin the workshop with some yoga, then go into the sound meditation? How does that work?
I do. So right now I'm doing a yoga and sound meditation, a combined or dual workshop where we do 45 minutes of a gentle yoga flow. And when I say gentle, meaning we're not even getting off the floor. I just want to introduce a little bit of movement. So it's not a very active practice, but one that's already starting to invoke relaxation. And then as the students settle into Shavasana and get nice and comfortable, that's when I start to bring in the sound element. So then it's an additional 45 minutes of just laying in complete relaxation and listening to the sound, experiencing the sound.
And I have experienced the sound, and it is quite an experience. It's quite something to look forward to. So who would you recommend come to one of your workshops? Is it people who may have some health issues, people who are having trouble sleeping, or just people who want an open mind, who want to learn more about this?
Yeah, I would say anybody who has an open mind, who wants to experience it, learn a bit more about it. I'd be open to them coming and just kind of seeing for themselves the benefits that they receive.
And what benefits have you received from this personally? Is something that you've been attracted to, something that you trained for? What have you seen? How has it worked for you?
Oh, it's a beautiful element just to bring into my own meditation practice, and then as a practitioner to give the joy to other people, and that's what it's all about, helping other people stay centered.
Well, Stacee, thank you so much for joining us today. And we will definitely put your information at the end of the program, let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to learn more about
Fantastic.
this.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Have a great day.